Double Clutch is still holding on, won't throw in the towel, and Double Clutch is going to win it. Double Clutch has won it.
He's a relentless galloper, and he just does everything so effortlessly. When you ask him a question, he quickens up well. He can come from anywhere, and that's the type of horses you want.
I never believed he'd be this good, and I don't think we've got to the bottom of it yet.
Now won 5 from 12, went off at £3.80 the tote word.
Double Clutch could very well have been named Double Take after his brush with death and West Nile virus.
We got the horse prepared for its first run, and it ran a very good race in the wet. And then unfortunately it contracted this virus. We didn't know what it was. We were really stumped, and the weight fell off and the legs were swelling up.
Double Clutch initially presented with a very high persistent fever or pyrexia, and his heart rate was very high as well. Those were the initial signs, and his blood work did indicate obviously a viral infection. He then developed sort of a transitioning lameness in his hind limbs, which would sort of become the ataxia part of it. So we did initially suspect the virus, but in horses there's quite a lot of things that can cause those symptoms. So we just basically treated him symptomatically initially.
Tara Oatley was working with me. She, Higgins as we called her, Higgins sat with that horse hour in and hour out, and there's photographs of them on the floor together. She's really trying to keep it alive. He was really not in discomfort, but the virus had him, and we were stumped, and suddenly Tara got ill, so we took Tara to hospital.
That's when the alarm bells sort of started ringing that it could be West Nile, because it is transmitted from horses to humans, just from touching them and sort of touching your face or your eyes or anything like that. And she had extremely close contact with him, and for a sort of prolonged period. So we actually insisted that the doctors test for West Nile on her. She did come back positive.
And she was diagnosed with West Nile virus. So suddenly we found out what it was.
West Nile is actually an arbovirus, which is its name, but it's basically transferred from initially birds that carry it, and then mosquitoes that feed off the birds, which then transmit it to horses when they feed on the horses. And it's a majorly sort of a neurological type, so you'll see nervous signs in a horse. But most horses actually go undetected, so only 10% of cases will show outwardly clinical signs. It being a virus, obviously we can't treat it with an antibiotic or a specific treatment as such, but we basically just treat them symptomatically. So as we see the signs, we try and control the temperature and the heart rates, etc., and try and make them as comfortable as possible.
Now we know how a bad West Nile virus is, having horses like Jetmaster die of it, but this guy lost 120 kilos, and Ralph sat with him, and it was basically, today's the day we're going to put him down. And Roy was with me that day, and he said, you know, the virus, the swelling's moving from leg to leg. Let's wait a day or two. And it must have been, I don't know what, the horse just suddenly got out of it, and Tara sat with him every day, and he just started picking up, and we phoned Ash and said, no, the horse doesn't look like he's going to die, but we don't know what damage is done, and we've just got to wait and see. And we nursed him back to health here, and he's turned out to be a top horse. He really is a top horse.
Yeah, the successful outcome of this treatment and the success that this horse has been able to achieve on the racecourse has really been through the attentive care of Tara and Paul and Roy from a nursing point of view, and then Dr. Bronwyn Keys with her medical attention. I mean, she was dedicated to trying to save this horse's life.
He subsequently turned out to be a very decent horse. He's won a good few races, and he's won by lengths. He's beaten good horses by a long way. He runs on any surface. He runs from the front, he runs from the back. He's just a very genuine hard hitter.
And Double Clutch went practically from pillar to post, slowed it down and won it. And Double Clutch has gone clear of the opposition now and is going to score. And Double Clutch goes on to score by 2.5 to 3. Double Clutch the winner. And Double Clutch is going to win it. Double Clutch has won it.
How common is West Nile virus in South Africa?
So over in the States, in America, it's a huge problem over there, and it's very, very common. But over here in South Africa, we were not supposed to have the disease a couple of years ago, but it's definitely emerging. Whether it's come across to us or whether it's always been here and we just weren't aware in terms of testing it, we're not 100% sure, but it definitely seems to be coming up more often. Whether it's linked to climate change or, potentially something like that, that's are the thoughts. There is a fantastic vaccine that we have at the moment. I think it came across 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been registered here in South Africa. We do recommend horses be vaccinated because of the increasing prevalence that we're seeing of the disease. And it's quite a simple, cost-effective vaccine, and it's easy administered, and we don't really get any side effects from it or anything like that. And it's shown to work well. So you'll definitely get a decrease. It may not 100% prevent your horse getting West Nile, but the symptoms it may experience will be less. Yeah.
Vaccine is the way to go. I think we really got to look at using that vaccine and ensuring that we have the immunity in the population.
As for Double Clutch, he's showing no long-term effects of the virus, and exciting racing awaits him.